Welcome to Arts Astro. I just wanted to get on here and talk a little bit about the overall weather of the astrology patterns that are going on right now. So much of it has to do with change. And, we just had the eclipse, the lunar eclipse the other night, and before that it was the equinox. We entered into Mercury's shadow phase of the retrograde cycle. Before that, there was the conjunction with Venus and Saturn, starting a new cycle there. This is all energy that's building. It's been going on, and we kind of get a little bit of ideas of some things that might be in store, but with all the eclipse weather and the solar eclipse coming up, Mercury's retro coming up, things are a little obscured. We don't really have a clear feel of things. One thing that's going on with this cycle that's really kind of crucial is Chiron is heavily tied into all of this stuff. And I talked about Chiron the other day or week. And, again, Chiron is dealing with storing negative energy. It's kind of always, while it's progressing, it's always kind of in a retrograde spin. It does not operate like other planets. So it brings a different energetic, and it's tied to, the energy. If you look at its path of orbit, its energy is picking up what Jupiter's putting down, and it's taking it through the structure of Saturn, the divisions, and bringing it out to Uranus and change. Uranus and Jupiter are also coming together during this whole retrograde cycle of Mercury, and Chiron is tied to all the turns of Mercury. It's tied into the eclipses. It's tied into this whole passage of energy. So, a lot of people, with all the change makes people uncomfortable, It's that unknown, right? But if we kind of surrender to that and kind of trust in the flow, it's in resonant for our design, what we need to be accomplishing and doing. The dangerous part is when we don't hold on to a perspective that's helpful. It's easy to go into negative thoughts, fear patterns, and just perceiving things in a way that's, we're not able to see the big picture of it. So it's easy to inflate what's going on without really being able to step back and see it. It's the kind of situation where, we feel like, oh, this bad thing is going to go on. But then a couple years later, however long, we look back and we're like, oh, well, that was hard, but it was actually really helpful, and I'm in a much better place than I was. And that's a little bit of this flow that's going on. There's a lot of astrologers looking for big traumatic things that are going to happen when Uranus and Jupiter do their conjunction. The thing to consider there is it's starting a new cycle. It's not like a bang situation. Sure, there might be an earthquake, but the reality is all the personal planets will trail. It's once that conjunction happens, then we have a series of events that will also hit those similar degrees. So this change is it's a process. And while there might be a catalyst to it, coming back to Chiron, if whatever's triggering, as long as we're not keeping it in, as long as we're not trying to hold on to what was, and we're able to let the changes occur, not trying to control them, with the nodes in Aries and Libra, there's a lot of judgment right? So we can easily be too critical of ourselves, easily be critical of others. We can try to force our will over the situation, and, you know, kind of take ourselves out of balance with everybody else, you know, putting our needs above, trying to get other people to do what we need them to do. That's not what this energy is, at least not in a beneficial way. There's an acceptance that needs to occur for this to really take you into a healthier place. You know, getting a perspective where it's not just about me. You know, you got to let everybody do what their pattern, their design needs to achieve in life. You know, we all have these different planetary patterns. Every one of us is an individual. So, you know, everybody's going to have to move through this in the way that they need to for their design. Letting other people do that, letting ourselves not to be so critical of ourselves. There's a lot of times we're just stacking it on, you know, everything that we're doing is wrong and all of that kind of stuff. You gotta give yourself some space. There will be changes. It's happening, but they're going to be playing out until, you know, June, basically. So it's going to take some time to really see how these developments flesh out. Again, you know, this Mercury retro, it's getting ready to turn on a few days from now, the 1st or 2nd. It's going to be passing back over that Chiron position 2 more times. It's already been there once. You know, with Mercury in retro, Mercury in general, it's connecting matter, right? It's taking the focus of the sun, and what we focus on is then what we're magnetically attracting through Venus. So it's consciously connecting. When it goes retrograde, it's connecting to the indirect current, the subconscious energy. And it's in that space where we fall into old patterns, where we act like different versions of ourselves than we'd like to be. So in that space, you know, be conscious of it, you know, keep that in your mind so that when things are going wrong, when your, you know, triggers get hit, past versions of yourself kind of come in, get a different perspective than the one you held. Like, you know, whatever your issues have been, your baggage, your traumas, don't bring them forward. Get a different way to look at it than the one that you got, because it's going to be crucial for all of these changes that occur. You're magnetizing this reality. So, you know, the more that you can tie into your higher ideals, your true heart, the more in line the reality that shapes will be for you. So anyway, I hope you use the energy wisely. It's going to be a little bit turbulent. That's just, you know, that's just it. So, but that's okay. That's also some fun, you know. Everybody likes a roller coaster, so just try to make the most of it, enjoy it, and you know, kind of magnetize that positive polarity so that the reality that's shaping is one that you truly want. All right, lots of love.